Are you recording? Are you on? Hi guys, it's me, the Miggly Wade Weston. I have changed location. I'm literally sitting exactly opposite where I normally film, but I thought I'd sit in my armchair today. Cute. Yeah. Somehow, now in the last 4 videos, I am ill. So, even though a month ago was the last time I filmed, I'm still somehow ill. But yes, hello, how's everyone doing? Sorry, I've been away for a little while. My life got a little manic, you know. I quit my job, all sorts of fun stuff. So yeah, the joys. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a little sit down chat with you about sort of my experience in regards to healing from my gender reassignment surgery. Today, I think, today exactly marks 5 months post-op. So I had my surgery done on the 13th of February and today is the 13th of July, so lovely. So yeah, I'm officially 5 months post-op. I think almost all of my swelling has gone down from my actual vagina. Also, I will be talking very frankly about quite personal subjects in regards to the aesthetic of my vagina, orgasms, sex, internal lubrication, etc. So if that is something you're not necessarily comfortable with, i.e. if my family are watching this, don't watch this because it's a little bit TMI. But yes, so I'm gonna run through it all. A lot of people ask me sort of the same sort of questions all the time, so I thought I'd put it in the video. So yes, a lot of my swelling has gone down. I'm generally fairly happy with the aesthetic of my vagina. I say generally because I will need a slight revision / touch-up. The labia majora, I guess. The actual, I don't know how to describe it. Labia majora, we'll go with that. The right side of my vagina, you know, it splits in the middle, well, the right-hand side, it has a little bit of excess skin that I want trimmed down a bit. But, you know, it was so heavily swollen, especially that particular side was so heavily swollen when I got the surgery done that, you know, it was hard they couldn't remove any more skin because it was so taut. But now, a lot of the swelling's gone down, so more than likely in 2020, which is next year, I will have a revision surgery to trim down some of the skin. Yes, that means going back to India, but I adore Dr. Kaushik and trust him wholeheartedly, so it should be okay. Yes, and so, what else? A lot of people watching these videos already know about Dr. Kaushik, but if you don't, he does a sigmoid colon vaginoplasty. What that means is it does 2-stage surgery, so he will do the cosmetic SRS, so he will create the sort of the vulva in any way, shape or form that sort of fits with the skin that you have, and then internally he will use a section of the sigmoid colon, sort of like, I will show you my scar in a second. I initially thought I wasn't going to show it because it's a bit personal, but a lot of people ask about it, and I think my scar is a little bit different compared to a lot of people. A lot of people's scars are quite short, but mine's actually quite big. And being Indian, I think Indian skin heals a little bit differently compared to some of the Caucasian people I've seen with the scar. So yeah, so I may as well just show you. So the scar, I don't know if you can see properly, runs from just about under the navel and runs across sort of there. It's probably about 15 centimeters, and then this is a scar from the drain site because I had a drain in for quite a while. But yeah, so that was like, so that's still a little bit swollen. I had a bit of difficulties with the scar. It wasn't sort of healing and sort of closing up as quick as sort of Dr. Kaushik would have liked. We'd struggled with it a little bit because I was allergic to the gum tape, so it was a whole ordeal. But it's still quite swollen around the scar. It's still quite numb to the touch as well. Eventually it will sort of swell further down, but it should be, like, it's not a worry for me, and the scar in regards to the size I don't really care about. I typically I'm never I never have that general part of my sort of bikini line out, I guess. So it's not really an issue. But yeah, so the swelling of the scarring is almost gone. Generally very happy with everything. I guess in regards to sensation, I tend to have full sensation in regards to the labia majora. Generally, the vaginal lips are very sensitive anyway because they've used scrotal skin and penile skin anyway. And sort of the clitoris is created from the head of the penis, so obviously that still has a lot of sensation. Okay, this is where it gets slightly TMI, but a lot of people keep asking me the same things, so I will run through it real quick. With the sigmoid and any sort of colon sort of surgery, you do get discharge / mucus. If you are using any part of the colon, obviously there needs to be some sort of internal lubrication for waste to go through, etc. But obviously using that part of the colon for a different sort of external, internal sort of deal can mean that, you might have an overproduction of mucus for a little while, which I did, which I wore sort of period pads, sanitary towels, whatever you want to call them, on a daily basis and switched to panty liners. I still wear panty liners now. I can not wear them. I don't need to wear them now. 5 months in, my mucus is that of sort of a relevant sort of a cisgendered woman's vagina. It's pretty much the same. It's what's used internally as lubrication as well. If you are going to be having sex, listen to the doctor and wait 3 months. Don't do it beforehand, but you will probably need a little bit of lube, I guess. I'm yet to have sex. I've chosen not to be that sort of sexually active just yet, because choices. But yeah, so I'm yet to sort of do anything in that region. But dilating and or using toys, you can generally get away with not using lube, but I think it's a little bit more comfortable if you do use a bit of lube. So a lot of women naturally find that as well. A lot of cisgender women find it the same, that they prefer it with a little bit of lube because it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting. So yeah, the clitoris does have full sensation. It is very, very pleasurable sort of when you are doing whatever you need to do to live your life. You do you. But yeah, so it's all good. It's all good in the hood. It functions. I will say there is scarring. Obviously you are joining penile skin and scrotal skin, and sort of there is scarring in around your vagina. I had a revision as well before leaving India, so I have scarring on the outer side, the inner side, so sort of scrotal skin, scarring, and then penile skin, so the stitching for that. I don't particularly mind it. It is what it is. It's just there. Eventually, over time, it will go down. Obviously, it's still very fresh wounds that we're only 5 months in. Typical recovery time, sort of to be living life, is obviously sort of a couple of months, couple of weeks, but fully sort of, I would say, a year for everything to be fully healed up. But yeah, that's what I can think of, really. I stopped dilating at 3 months just because I hated it. I don't like dilating. It's not fun. I dislike it so much. You're using quite a lot of lube, and unless you're having a shower immediately, it gets a bit messy sometimes, and people don't talk about that, okay? Like say if I'm dilating in the morning, I would then need to shower in the morning, which is fine, it's not an issue. But if you're running late and you can't do these things, okay? And it's very stressful because once something goes up there, it's got to come back out. There's nowhere for it to magically disappear to. So all that lube that's going in there is like sitting in there, mixing with all the internal goo that you got in there anyway, and then falling out in a big old clump. And that's not fun, okay? When you're at work and you have a desk job and you just feel it slipping out of you, like, ugh, it's kind of gross. So I used to dilate preferably in the evening and then at night time just because I'm at home. But then if I dilated right before bed, you'd have a big old surprise in the morning because, your pad would just have I I call it goo because it literally just looks like goo to me, like mucusy goo. Call it what you will. The goo is everywhere and it's just, it's not that pleasant. The smell, a lot of people always ask me about the smell. I don't think it has a smell. Initially when I had surgery, there was a slight odor, not particularly bad, but there was a smell. But over time it's really, really lessened. And it's pretty, I don't really realize it. Either I've grown immune to the smell, I have no idea. And it wasn't okay, I say smell, but it's not a bad smell. It's not an unpleasant odor, it's just there is a smell. It's not like someone's farted, it's not like a gross smell, you're alright. But yeah, so there is sort of a smell, but it's not bad, if you get what I mean. But yeah, that's it. Any questions, let me know. Like, comment, subscribe, and, you know, stalk the socials. They're attached, you know, in this description. For some reason, my descriptions, even though I fill them in, end up empty, and I don't understand how or why. Like, Google, you need to up your game. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, so I'll see you all soon. Bye!